an upper bracket start if certain combinations come in. But Shopify are straight out if they take even a single loss, I believe.
Okay.
Like I don't think there's any circumstance where there's a tiebreaker if they go like 2-6, 2-7. So they need to find 2 wins, and it's do or die. We'll see if they manage to get that done. G2.iG, again, I just appreciate the fact that they've gone for a draft that just feels a lot more active, can take so much early activity. We get the treat of JT Magnus, and just JT Magnus plus Baboka Tiny. It's such a fun combination that we've seen G2.iG run before, and I expect JT to be feeling very pleased with himself this time around.
Yeah, I think JT's been a bit off, I want to say, Jonathan. He hasn't looked quite as happy, and his performances have been pretty hit or miss, but when you've got the mag going on here, John, you know, this might be the hero pick that really turns everything around for him.
Yeah, one would hope so. You know, last time around in Kuala Lumpur, he went for those cliffs. He was just clapping like a maniac, then he dies to the Ancients. Oh, JT.
That was brilliant. It really was. He was a star that tournament. He was my hero, my idol. Lacourt, say hello to Baboka for a second. We'll end up backing off. Gonna be a 3-for-1 trade in the favor of G2.iG on the bounty rune, so a nice start already for G2.iG. Bottom lane, a bit of cheeky shenanigans perhaps going on as X-Nova, JT, and Baboka all gonna show up, but it seems like they just wanted to block the creep wave. They weren't too interested in going for a fight, and they won't get away with it either.
Yeah, I like this early read from the side of Shopify as well, understanding that there's a little bit of a clump up bot. So Tio will just take the gate across now. Baboka just being annoying. This is actually pretty painful with the gate mana cost. So Tio's not going to even bother, just go for the TP, get in position, but should be pretty fun again in this lane for the side of G2.iG once levels are up. But JT's going to need a little bit more in the Magnus to threaten back with the Skewer. Kitrak's doing a great job of just cutting off, being aggressive. This is a double melee lane up against double range. So Baboka's just forced to pull back the wave, try to stabilize, soak some EXP into that level 2 and 3 mark. And before then, Arteezy and Kitrak should have fun here. JT, not the healthiest spot.
It certainly is not. JT's actually gone. Arteezy already able to secure first blood here on the Luna, and well, that is really just the perfect start here for Shopify Rebellion. Like, giving your fastest farming core first blood, you've got to feel good.
Yeah, earlier timing into the power treads, into the Mats of Madness, just helps accelerate that farm into the jungle. You also just slowly stall out a little bit on the level timings for JT, but not too much. Baboka still manages to get the pull. He gets the creep wave in a good spot for the Magnus to soak up on. It's just this window of opportunity that Shopify is looking for. They need to constantly force this out onto JT before that level 2, level 3 comes out onto both of these heroes. They need to be able to stop these pulls. Like, it's just giving some free EXP that's very necessary for G2.iG to play that lane. Still, can take a look elsewhere as that lane develops. Mid lane, we're taking a gander for a few moments there. Nothing to say on the Zeus up against Yopaj on the Pango. So far, again, it's a little bit better for Nothing to Say. He's got the reach to just play back. He's got the safety net of Heavenly Jump, constantly shoving in the wave. Rune control's massive for both sides, maybe a little bit more so for Nothing to Say, but so far it doesn't feel like Yopaj should be able to threaten him at all. And in a stable lane, Zeus with an early 6 can be a threat, although down bot.
He has a toss back into the skewer, into the tier 1 tower there from Baboka and JT. So they do manage to make that little combination work. Of course, Kitrak will be the first victim to the toss skewer back. Thankfully, it was not Arteezy. Though Arteezy does not look like he's feeling very safe to farm. In fact, he put his hand up, but it may cost him his own life now because the skewer's out underneath the tier 1 tower. Well, at least he gets a high five from the tower. You know? Happy days. TP away. Oh, he's not gonna make it.
JT.
Wait, what's JT?
Arteezy. He just typed the dots.
Oh my goodness.
Arteezy has to walk.
The worst part was Kitrak TP to the tower, so that the TP was longer for Arteezy. I believe that's what actually happened. He would have made it had Kitrak not TP to that tier 1, I'm pretty sure.
It's just the timing. Just doesn't pan out.
Let's see. Hold on a minute. Yeah, Kitrak just came in. Where does he TP to? Was it the bottom tier one?
Very-
It was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He would have
okay,
actually
yeah.
made it out. He would have
Yeah.
survived if Kidrak did not TP before that. So obviously,
That's just bad timing. Oh, man.
to every position 1 player, that's Kidrak's fault, Jonathan. Carries are never wrong, as we've learned.
Yeah, and they would say that, but can you really fault Kitrak? He just wants to come in and help us carry. Maybe if he TP'd to the outpost, it would have helped a little bit more, but
He could have walked.
I guess he could have walked.
How
I guess
dare
he
he.
could have walked, I suppose. Rather unfortunate for Artur. Misses out in a little bit of farm. You've got the level advantage for JT and Baboka, and it's that scary point. We were talking about it a lot in draft, but and Magnus Tiny is certainly something to have to watch out for. All the lanes for G2.iG right now feeling pretty good. Even the top lane has been going relatively well for Mine, and it's not really a direct threat lane. And the Bat Rider doesn't do as much early on. You can try to pressure along with your Morris quite nicely, but Xnova, he has a decent save. He has a decent way of cutting off the chase down. He is a little bit susceptible, but again, you just don't have that straight follow.
Oh.
And well, Mone through.
That was cheeky from Kidrak. The Hurricane to ensure the skewer never came out from JT. Very quick thinking.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. And can't really do too much about trying to cancel off these creeps either. They don't have anything like Doom on hand, of course, or even something like the Mirana. So Kidrak's getting full utility out. The camps aren't blocked off. Is allowed to just kind of play around at. He will have to keep playing very cerebrally, though. You know, you have to prevent all of these plays. And it's not like it's a massive commitment either from the side of G2.iG here.
Oh, they're trying for the toss back, but Boca, he was within range with the Lucent Beam. No, they do get the toss, but the stun doesn't even land anyway, but Arteezy does survive for now, as Boca is the one in danger, and he is gone. Once again, Kidrak was making that a very hard skewer back, because the Centaur was prepped with the stun whenever. Meanwhile, mid lane, Yopaj, on the chase for nothing to say, does find a very important kill. Gets a solo kill onto the mid. Zeus is now top lane. Even more action as Xnova is going to find himself in trouble. Theolacore dropping low himself as well. So is Saberlight. Xnova finally goes down. Monet still chasing Saberlight, but eventually will back off. He does not have the damage nor the control to finish off the Mars kill. It's just so much action across the map. And all kills, I'm pretty sure, went to Shopify Rebellion. Woo! That was close.
Not enough?
Theolacore and Saberlight. Clenching the butt cheeks.
But you're missing out on a lot now for the side of G2.iG. Shopify, they're getting online. They've got a great revival here from Yopaj after a little bit more back and forth coming out from Nothing to Say. Does manage to get rune control as well with the amp damage rune on hand. And they're still able to control bot, although Kidrak.
Skewer. Kidrak sadly going to have to go down. No creep to try and mess around with that time around. But Boca, I mean, they have practiced this toss back into the skewer combination quite a few times, I think, because they're just landing it pretty much every time they can.
And that they have for sure. I love these shenanigans coming out from G2.iG. Does help to kind of stabilize that lane. You've got level 5 up for JT. Does go for the 1-2-2. Wants a little bit more stable farm. Try to get that build up into the blink. Overall, you're still in a pretty decent position for Shopify. Like Arteezy, again, has the power treads, is working towards the Massive Madness with Morbid Mass being lined up. Can already dig into that jungle as well with the damage he does have from Lunar Blessing. So there's some decent ramping up here. Yopaj as well, just basically lacking the Diffusal recipe now for that item timing. He does skip the upgraded boots, as you tend to see. They should be able to start to get some inhibits off, start to help get some additional control. And you've got the levels lining up for Shopify. Saberlight has the arena ready, being relatively deep on the hunt. They're trying to collapse onto this mid lane here. I can say it would be a relatively easy target if they manage to get their combos off.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They already found him once with Yopaj just alone. Yopaj might be able to just do it again on his own if he really wanted to, though. They do jump in with the arena. That'll be nothing to say. Locked down by the tier 2. They missed the spear, but doesn't matter. They got the kill. It's all good.
Just apply that early pressure, you know, with the Zeus normally going for the Phylactery, Manta. Slight timing deviations can feel pretty bad for the Zeus. Him sitting back and farming as well. It's just, hey, you've got a Troll and a Magnus already. You can't afford to have your Zeus also just kind of sitting back, not connecting with support movements out. And they managed to take that mid-tier 1, opening up further invasions, incursions into the top jungle, even a little into the triangle. They've already set up some good forward vision here for Shopify to capitalize on. Heck, even Kitrak is coming in to steal some of these camps. They're online. Like, in fact, the defusal should be coming for Yopaj now as well, the tossback.
Yopaj, he kind of just tanked the toss back for his teammate. Kirak will survive based off Yopaj taking it for him, but now Yopaj needs his own way out. He's quite low on mana. He'll try to heal up with the bottle to get that Rolling Thunder up, and in fact, he doesn't even need it. Meanwhile, Kitrak may have gone a little bit too far, because now the chase is on from nothing to say Mboka, and eventually, he will get tossed up, and he does go down. Though he does get Mboka from the grave, thanks to that Dark Troll Summoner. So not really too bad at all here for Kitrak.
Not too bad. Does manage to get the space out for Yopaj. And, all things considered, you're trading a pause 5 for a pause 4. You're stalling out a little bit more on Boboka's blink timing. You're pretty happy about just being able to trade directly like this. It's still not the comfiest for G2.iG. Just look at the position. Teolacor just cutting off nothing to say, ensuring that him trying to pull into the camp isn't so free for him to just build up here on the Zeus. And,
yeah, Yopaj is here. Nothing to say has been caught, and Yopaj immediately will just get out of the Rolling Thunder to take him down, but now he's in danger. He'll go for the swash out. The chase is on from Monet. A couple more hits will do it. Yopaj still running, though, is going to be okay. And once again, they found the mid-Zeus. The third death for nothing to say. And they just do not seem to be able to protect him whatsoever.
No, again, it's down to this really aggressive vision. Watching his camp by mid, just holding that position from Teolacor, playing around this really early defusal time from Yopaj. It was flying out in the last fight. They'll try again here.
He's making all the plays here, Yopaj. Gonna set up now onto Mboka, though Saberlight get Nightmared up. Swashbuckle's not gonna land onto Mboka, so he does successfully manage to walk away. Already, G2.iG backs against the wall, just not feeling good this game one. So many moves here from Shopify. So aggressive. That's what you really like to see as well. You'd hate to see them just sitting back and just trying to play the farm game as fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're using the space really well, even when they're not taking these direct fights together as 5 just yet. Saberlight clears out top. He's got this really good farming pace into the Yules. He's applying some really good shrinkage on the map, just preventing Monet from getting a free lane. Monet's sitting that jungle farming up, but it's not comparable to how fast the Luna farms at this point in the game. Your Magnus is not just going to be sitting around with you with Empower as well. We'll find a freebie pickoff up top. And yeah, they're just applying this pressure. Look at the area of the map where you can reasonably farm in G2.iG. It's not much at all. They don't have their top jungle. They don't have access to the bot jungle either with the tier 1 still standing. It's not quite a comfy spot for G2.iG. They're going to need to at least try to play around one of these item timings coming out. JT with his blink should start to get some action going. And Boboka with his own blink as well, which is still a little bit further out. At least one of these blinks have to come in for them to start keeping that pick-off game that we've seen from the laning phase. At the very least, they have been given room for the spot tier 1, so a little bit more space for G2.iG. We've seen them in these positions before, right? Where they're a little bit behind, they need to clear out the bot tier 1, and then they just camp that bot area and farm. See if they'll be successful this time in the recovery. But Shopify, they also can't afford to sit back too long. And you're still really strong in Yopaj right now. He finds a good regen rune to play with. You just need to keep hunting. They don't quite have the aggressive vision top. They do have a couple of good wards. Watching again that bot area, one in lane and one right by the right by the triangle check. But maybe now just waiting for their own blink time. I mean, they've given Teolacor space. It's only about 300 gold away. It should line up with the own blink timings that G2.iG are looking to smoke around right now.
They're going to give it a crack. A 3-man smoke is out here from G2.iG, and they're running right towards that top lane where Saberlight is hanging around. Saberlight, though, clearing out the creep wave, just looking to retreat. The blink is up on JT, he's trying to get within range. Will eventually find him and gets the steal back. So Saberlight should just be dead and will be. Though I must admit, it did take them a little bit longer than anticipated. So maybe a little bit of a concerning sign at how long it did take to kill Saberlight, but nonetheless, John, they do get him.
And that's an important kill. Just playing with a blink, finding a core kill, retaking control of their bot, or of their top jungle as well, just to get a little bit more of that room again to just keep this build up. Still really big for the side of G2.iG in terms of trying to level out this game. 8-5, 4K lead still standing though for Shopify. Neopaj again, only about 2,200 gold away from full ags. This is quite fast timing for him. Even, again, Arteezy not contested at all, and they'll go for their own smoke out now. No Yules yet in Saberlight. Again, with this blink on Teal Liquor, they should be ready. Again, before that fight, he was only 300 gold away. He's been given a lot of room to farm.
Poor old Baboka. He's just 100 gold away from the blink. Baboka just avalanche toss the creep wave. There you go. Oh, he's still 15 gold short. Oh, no. Oh, what can you do? It doesn't matter. He'll still get the blink any moment. It does happen. That's a Michael Phoenix move right there. That's what would happen to me.
Yeah, you know, just a little bit of greed being punished. Still, movement still up top with his remaining smoke.
NTS, sadly, is going to have to probably just die. They will land the spear quite nicely, though they are lacking just a little bit of damage here against NTS. But the God's Rebuke is coming. Saberlight will get the job done. Another nice kill onto the mid lane of G2.iG. They have really just ensured that NTS has had no game. You know, like, he's still going to be able to get a lot of damage off in the middle of these fights, but you haven't got that big mid Zeus that you tend to get worried about as you approach the mid game.
We're nowhere near the Shard plus Manta just yet for NTS, and that also cuts into his farm just a little bit, right? Like, you want to use those illusions to kind of shove out waves for free. You want the Shard to help you clear caps a little bit faster as well. None of that's presenting itself for G2.iG. They'll try for a smoke play. They still have RP. We haven't seen that yet from JT here.
Smoke's broken, Saberlight. He breaks the smoke perfectly. RP, though, going to catch him from JT, so JT will set up perfectly onto the Mars. It's now Baboka. In fact, the Rolling Thunder was caught out with the Fiend's Grip, but they will lasso to cancel off that Fiend's Grip, so X-Nova should go down. Baboka, in the meantime, also dropping quite low, but here comes Monet to try and help as they will chase down Japoy. Japoy, though, will swashbuckle down towards the south and does make it out. Baboka, though, avalanche toss is there. They found the Penguin. They'll take him down. So Baboka really playing on the edge does help secure that Pangolier kill. And that was a fantastic team fight for G2.iG. They had about a 2k gold swing out of that.
Now that's a big one to win off of. Again, we've been waiting for this RP from JT. Catch us only one, but it's one that cuts off their big teamfight tool to follow up from Neopaj's role, taking away the arena, which they can clean up. Monet, though, not in the safest positions here. Oh,
unfortunate, though. The arena not quite on the mark here against Monet, so Monet just going to casually walk out of there as Saberlight will put the arena on cooldown. You're seeing in the highlight here just Yopaj. It looked like he was fine, but Baboka on 200 HP will jump in and finish the job. And Monet actually secured that kill, which makes matters even better because your troll got all the gold.
Yeah, and Monet is reaching this critical point now on the troll, going for that BKB. And once he has that, it's going to be hard to pin him down. They spot out Saberlight, Nightmare, but no one's there to follow through, unfortunately, for G2.iG. Not going to be able to capitalize. But again, they've regained control of some parts of the map. I do like this cheeky forward ward from Shopify, right in front of the tier 3 very early on. Will allow them to hunt and secure this push onto the tier 2. They've got the full Manta up on Arteezy now as well. BKB next pickup just to be secure in the middle of these team fights. For G2.iG, it does feel like they need to watch their positioning with X-Nova, right? Like, he was getting the grip off. Baboka, I don't know if it was accidental, but he did toss Teal Liquor right on top of the Bane with a lasso ready, which also took off that control. It still works out for them in the last fight, but if that happens in a bigger fight, I don't think that's necessarily the result you want in that kind of engagement.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, the top tier 2 tower now under siege from Shopify Rebellion. It seems as though there's going to be no kind of engagement coming out from G2.iG. They do have a smoke available on Baboka if they wish to commit. They have already lost the tier 2 tower, so they would be just going for a gank, pretty much. Smoke from Shopify Rebellion here with Theo Lacour and Kitrak. They will hang around Yopaj, hoping somebody goes for the Pango kill. He's Struin, going to be available. Baboka, he'll jump in, but he's missed out on picking up the rune, and now he's probably just dead. They'll lock him down, and Baboka is certainly just dying. So the rest of G2.iG, they will disperse down to the southern eastern side of the map. try to farm in those areas, while Shopify Rebellion, well, they can think about Roshan now. And it seems as though they will head that way.
Got the damage with RTZ ready to go now. We have, again, seen G2.iG in these kinds of games before. They just hug this bottom area of the map while they're on Dire, get this build up, and try to play for the longer game, which, you know, we're starting to reach that point. It does feel like they'll need maybe an additional 5-7 minutes before they can get some big items. Meanwhile, for the type of Shopify, in that pit, they've got the full Ags up on Yopaj. So even more damage, more control coming out from them here with additional swashes that Yopaj has. Baboka, though, looking for a steal.
And he has not been noticed. He'll jump in, avalanche toss, but he's a little bit early. And now, of course, he has been very noticed. Nice little attempt there from Baboka. He had to go in with no vision, and sadly, it does cost him. Didn't have any points in tree grab either, so there was no way for him to get the vision he required.
Yeah, valiant effort. Stalls it out for a little bit, but the objective still found by Shopify. Should be able to start considering more sieges onto the tier 2s now. Still two more left for the side of G2.iG, even a tier 1 down bot, still securing their position here by the Tormentor as well. It should be relatively easy for G2.iG to secure, get themselves a little bit of a nice boon. Got that full BKB running now on Monet as well, so the Trolls a little bit less worried up front about any of the control here. And it's not like Tia Liquor will necessarily want to lasso up a Troll when you've got something like, say, the Bane to worry about with a grip. You've got the RP from the JT that can still fly in. Wonder which shard they will find. Fortunately, X-Nova doesn't die this time around, and it is next X-Nova shard as well. So he's got the AoE Brain Sap, which is pretty nice, I guess. It's a nice boon for free.
That certainly is.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Not game-changing, sadly, though, for the side of G2.iG. But it's something. G2.iG is still just trapped around their base, not feeling confident at all, but they are going to go for a bit of a smoke now as they have the power spike of Monet here with the BKB up. Problem is, Sableye does now pick up his own Blink Dagger, which is on the Courier, so... And in fact, a BKB on Arteezy at the same time. So it could be a bit of an awkward fight if it does end up being a 5v5.
Dire's top tower.
Because it seems as though Shopify have even bigger spikes to play with. Speaking of Shopify, they'll go after the Tormentor, though. Arteezy. Oh, he's all right. He's all right. He thought about stopping there for a moment, but he'll go for it, and it does secure.
It pays off in the end. They get the free shard for Kitrak, so you've got that nuisance in Sproink now available. It's so silly that the Enchantress old Ags becomes the shard. It's not that long for cooldown. It's actually such an annoying spell to kind of juke around, so a little bit more utility for Kitrak over there. Game still holding steady, 13-7. 5k lead still up for Shopify. Again, we've seen Shopify in this situation as well, right? Where the early game, this time around, not as domineering, especially in the laning phase down bot, but they get this really strong early start. This is around the time where we have to see Shopify capitalize on these advantages, though. Let's see. They're setting up for that tier 1 siege bot. Should again start considering some tier 2s while the Aegis is still up on Yopaj. Yopaj, for his part, has his Blink coming out now as well, and is working towards the Linkens. So at the very least, you're not going to need to worry about the Bane as the counteraction to the Pangolier. With that, when that full Linkens comes out, will still take some time. It is concerning just how much space Monet is allowed to play with. Heck, even JT, and nothing to say. Like, nothing to say. Manta, only about 1,000 gold away, has his shard. They can start considering the stall game here if this drags on. Like, once you have the Manta Zeus with shard, just keep shoving out waves. You can clear out waves as well with JT. You can keep trying to just build up into the game that we know G2.iG loves. They love dragging it out. Their power spike really starts at around 35-40 minutes for them.
Absolutely does.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
T2 Tower, a little bit of a sieging going on here from Shopify. G2.iG still sitting back. Monet does reveal himself in the mid lane there for a second, but there's going to be no jump from Shopify Rebellion quite yet. They are still just focused on that bottom tier 2 tower. G2.iG still huddled around the tier 2 mid, but they're going to go for a 5-man smoke. So they understand they need to get something done. We'll ignore the courier of Yopaj, of course. They'll try and head back towards the dire triangle. In fact, never mind the triangle. They're wrapping around the long way through the Radiant jungle. Up through the bottom lane they'll go. Monet, he'll frontline for the team, it seems, because he does have his BKB ready. They'll see Arteezy. RP's out. They caught 2 with that. It's a great start for the side of G2.iG, as both Arteezy and Sableye are gone. That's the start you would have loved for G2.iG, right? Just, you see Arteezy, you jump in for an RP, and you even get another on top.
Such a confidence play out from JT, just getting that position for the team. No counteraction for the side of Shopify. They were on a little bit of a retreat after taking that tier 2. This is also maybe a consequence of giving Yopaj the Aegis instead of Arteezy. Makes it a little bit more awkward for them to fully commit with frontline Luna for the push. And now the side of G2.iG, they're still raring to go as a team. They're grouping up top. They don't quite have a smoke on hand, but they could get some freebies if Baboka's on point with his blink still. Just a little bit too far out, but you can see the confidence in G2.iG is playing as a team. They know they have this team fight control. They know they've got this really good spread out damage. They've got 2 great frontline cores in the Troll and in the Magnus. Especially the Troll now with full Sanj and Yasha up, as is typical. It's a lot harder to keep Monet down. And for the side of Shopify, this lead is not growing any bigger, despite their advantages. Like it was peak, what, 5k, 6k, down to 3k now. That's them playing with the Aegis. Aegis gone. About 2 minutes until the respawn. And there is, again, room to grow, especially in this Luna going for the full Conda. And without Linken's for Yopaj, but you need to play this pickoff game right. Their big AoE control is Arena into Rolling Thunder, and it's not the most reliable, it's not the most consistent, I think is the way to put it, in comparison to like the RP from JT. And some of the counterplay options G2.iG has, especially in breaking off that roll with grip before the Linken's is up. Well, at least still be able to find a tier 2 here. But again, I don't think G2.iG is one of those teams that minds losing their tier 2s. They play for the long con anyway. Doesn't really matter to them.
My sprites are with us.
You kind of question the late game kind of scalability though against the draft of Shopify, or at least I do. Bottom lane, MTS caught out once again. Yopaj and Theolacour just going to ensure that he has no way out of this scenario, and he is just gone. Nice little pickup here for Arteezy, who just runs in to secure the kill. Ensure G2.iG is still just waiting for their own opportunities to open this game up for themselves. Arteezy still top of the net worth board, looking for that Kanda now on the Luna. Monet right behind him on the Troll Warlord, going for that Mjolnir into the Basher. Kanda is just such an annoying timing with that level 20 talent on top.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It seems like they might start grouping up top as well. Maybe start looking to push out that top wave as Baboka. We'll find Theolacour, TP away, and he will make it out. Sableye could not get there in time for a cancel.
Just a little bit sneaky. Is starting to, again, as you mentioned, set up for that next Roshan, looks like. Starting to clump up around this timing. Getting control top. Good position for Shopify. They already have a good forward ward to set up for this Roshan as well. Right outside of the, around the outpost in the general area there. And a good one to spot smokes here from the top jungle area closer to the tier 3s as well. G2.iG don't quite have that deep vision. They do have vision down across River South, and they still have one ward up top here as well. See if the smoke lines up for them. It's a big one if they manage to line this into Roshan.
Oh, Yopaj. He'll be the first one to get caught, and immediately they just blow him up. Arena is down. Sableye, though, also caught by Baboka. Oh, they're going to find a 2-for-nothing special. Just big initiations here from Baboka and JT, and consistently pays off. Arteezy? Oh, Arteezy!
Oh, what?
They can't believe what they're saying. He gets his BKB off. He'll go for a run. He'll try for the TP play out. Do they have a cancel? They do not. They are going to find Theo Lacour on top of that Theo. He will definitely be going down. G2.iG going to find a third target for their trouble.
And that was an interesting position for Shopify. Not sure what they were doing there after they lose 2 heroes and just across that area in the bottom area of that jungle. And that does open up Roche control back for G2.iG. Sure, you still have this forward vision here from Shopify, but they're not going to be occupying that pit first. That makes it dangerous to take these next few fights. That advantage for Shopify down to just 1k. And Roshan only a few seconds away. They've got the damage here on G2.iG once they clump up. See how long they hang around here. It's not going to stick up top too long. There's maybe about a minute window exactly where you have that Roche on Dire's side. They don't instantly go for it. So Shopify actually has a chance to just sneak this one away. Again, they've got the wards defending this Roshan position quite nicely. If they want to force it, they know where G2.iG would be hanging around.
Surprisingly, Shopify Rebellion are the first ones into the Roshan pit. G2.iG almost feels like a bit of a missed opportunity if they let this go for free. They'll start to move in. In goes Theo Lacour looking for a lasso. He has found one, but the toss-up is there. A nice arena, though, from Saberlight, locking 3 of them down. X-Nova, he was forced to buy back. Meanwhile, Baboka also goes, but he can buy back as well if he needs. Meanwhile, Arteezy, though, the RP. JT found 2 of them again. He found Japoy and Arteezy. There goes Saberlight on top. Kidrak's the last one left, and he is certainly not getting out either. Monet to take him down. But JT's done it once again, Jonathan. Another 2-man RP. But more importantly, 2 cores in that RP.
Yeah, 2 cores in the RP. The opening for Shopify, just not the opening salvo that you'd want to have. And I mean, they get this good jump in. It's a decent arena coming out there from Saberlight. The lasso from Theo Lacour having to go out to X-Nova, though, just doesn't feel great. Right, like they get this big arena, they manage to get the Eclipse on as well, the BKBs fly on, they only really managed to entrap 1 in that arena, and then it just falls flat. Like, even with Chapoy just allowed to roll, great BKB into RP for JT to get that pinned position. And again, the spread damage is there with Monet. This is a troll with Empower. He can melt your faces when they're stuck in the RP like that.
That was a fight that G2.iG took without vision, by the way. It was Shopify Rebellion that had the Observer Ward up at the time. G2.iG did not have vision around, and they still managed to make that work quite easily. So, well, props to them. I mean, G2.iG now 7k ahead of Shopify Rebellion. And you mentioned this earlier. They really cannot afford to drop a game here in this series, Shopify. And, well, it was their game to lose, and right now they are losing. But Boca, at least going to be donating a kill away here to Shopify. Feeling bad for him at the moment.
Yeah, it's something, you know. Baboka the Merciful hands one over, at the very least. I don't know, like, for Shopify, that fight should have been the ideal. Right, like, again, they played around that vision they set up for that Roche. They smoked out of the pit to get that going as well. Maybe just a bit of a disconnect. Felt like Yopaj wasn't able to capitalize fully on that arena coming out from Saberlight. The BKBs flying on as well. It's just, it made it so difficult. Theo Lacour just wanted to get last one, the closest target, which was only X-Nova, not any of the cores. So it just kind of falls flat from there. For the side of G2.iG, they've got full Lincolns up on JT, so he's going to be protected on the jump in. He doesn't need to worry about the lassos now. He's going to be free to get these RPs going. And again, the scaling for G2.iG is there. Like, you questioned a little bit of that scaling coming in here, but I would say they scale a tad bit better than the side of Shopify Rebellion, mainly down to the fact that RP is just such a great scaling spell. Like, you don't care about these BKBs. You have a way of cleaving right through any HP as well with Monet on hand. And for the side of Shopify, the results showed itself in the last fight. Just 1 BKB on one of these cores to jump out of arena, to not care about the roll, and suddenly you're in big trouble there. For the side of Shopify Rebellion, your only answer is really the lasso, but it's not like Theo Lacour can just always hunt down for these cores. He has to worry about the grip. He has to worry about these supports in the backline as well.
Absolutely. It's scary, scary times here for Shopify Rebellion, as they are stuck now defending their high ground, because G2.iG have started to move up onto that high ground. Theo Lacour, he is in position, ready to lasso whenever. Obviously does not really want to start with Monet, because Monet does have the Aegis up. suppose they could hope to lasso and... Oh, he was going to try, but he misses out just barely. So they were going to give the lasso on the troll a crack. Does not happen, though.
No. Even if you did, I don't know if that works out that great in your favor. The lasso doesn't last too long with Assange and Yasha and the stat resist. You might not be able to drag back Monet far enough for it to feel comfy in that position. In comparison to, like, the repositioning tools that G2.iG has with a toss and a skewer back. Just, again, a little bit more reliable here from G2.iG. Again, you've got this gameplay for the side of G2.iG where every creep wave is just going to be shoved in. With the Zeus Ag Shard and the Manta, with all of this AoE clear, they're keeping mid forced in. They're constantly pressuring this tier 3.
Monet, Lasso's out. They're going to try. They've got the troll the first time, though Monet not dead yet, but eventually should go down and does. That is one life. Can they get him a second time? They are waiting to try and initiate again. They'll land a stun. They'll get the Eclipse, but Monet, he's still got the BKB off in time. And that's going to allow him to escape the base. And that was actually thanks to X Nova, I believe, because he did Nightmare up Saberlight, not allowing the Spear initiation. As now Baboka does go down. But I believe Monet would have actually died had X Nova not controlled the Mars the whole fight.
Yeah, that was almost a perfect follow-through there from the side of Shopify. Just really great roll follow-up from Yopaj, instantly stunning as the respawn comes out, preventing the instant BKB use, but not having the follow-up spear. Does cut them off a little bit. And the side of Shopify gets at least deny off the Aegis. Hold on. It's, again, a little bit curious G2.iG don't opt to clean up these tier 2s first, instead looking for that pressure onto the tier 3s. It does cost them this time around. And it does, again, provide a little bit of room for Shopify to try to catch back in Arteezy. Going for the full Satanic will allow him to trade blows with Monet quite nicely as the game goes on here. Monet, for his part, looking for the full Abyssal to get his own control, especially onto Yopaj while he's rolling around. So just wanting some security there. He does have his shard as well. I feel like that shard on Troll is one of those things that you don't really think about in the middle of the fight, but a couple of procs here and there just melts your team. If he is trying to chase someone, it is a little bit underappreciated, I want to say, when the troll does manage to get that for free. You do have some security, at least, for the side of Shopify. Now BKB up on Teal Liqueur. So he is free to just get some safe lassos now, without too much concern. I think the big thing for me on the side of G2.iG is just these multiple Lincolns. You've got Lincolns on Nothing to Say, you've got Lincolns up on JT. They can cover each other, or they can cover whoever Teal Liqueur decides to jump quite nicely with these counter spells. So even with a BKB, even with some of these accessibility options for Teal Liqueur, it's still not going to be the simplest of times if the side of G2.iG are close enough to each other to cover each other's backs with the Lincolns. And I don't see any easy solution. You can try to break it with Force Staff, but if you try to lasso without the Force Staff, it also doesn't feel great for the Batrider there.
Bottom tower has fallen.
They go to the high ground. And through the bottom lane, G2.iG go. Satanic just picked up by Arteezy. They are going to retreat and go for a 4-man smoke instead here, G2.iG. Rushing towards the twin gates, trying to head towards the other side of the map. That is where Shopify are currently, so they have got the right idea. Quick Scan does actually catch Saberlight as well, so they are going to run right towards the Mars. Saberlight, we'll see if he's got the Spidey senses to TP out. In fact, they've decided to go south instead. G2.iG. Again, they did scan successfully, but it seems like they don't believe he's still there. In fact, Saberlight will just get away for free. Nobody's caught by the smoke.
It's a bit of an opportunity. Oh yeah. Just he's keeping that top shoved in. There's always someone that has to respond. Makes it a little bit more awkward to try to reach into that next Roshan respawn, but there is enough time here to repair for G2.iG. Shopify for their part now, trying for their own smoke play. Let's see if they find this angle out. They didn't spot that, not under any vision. They didn't smoke in the high ground. They should know Roche is about to respawn, or very close to when that respawn timer should show itself. Might be able to get a nice pick off if Nothing Stays just in the wrong spot here.
Might just be nothing to say. Hanging around the mid lane. We'll send them anti-illusions in. Japoy's gonna have his smoke broken. They'll see nothing to say now. They'll try to make the jump, but it's too late. The Zeus is fine. Meanwhile, G2.iG only interested in Roshan. Is it gonna be a quick Roshan respawn? It's a minute.
It's not bad. It's still relatively quick. They just need to hold on to this position. I do love this from Nothing to Say. He's got the full moon chart up, so yeah, you're not going to be shoving in for free with these Zeus illusions now. It's a lot of damage to kind of eat through here for the side of Shopify. Peak performance Zeus online. Let's see if Shopify manages to take this fight into the Roshan pit. And it's kind of do or die. If this Aegis goes the way with G2.iG, as long as they play it safely with the Linken's coverage they have now, Monet should not be able to find himself in that situation where he is lassoed all the way back on the high ground. Should be able to protect him much better. Shopify are taking a little bit of an awkward flank, a different flank here, clearing out the top lane, and again ensuring that there's some room to wiggle here into the Roche. But they're going to spot that spawn in G2.iG. They don't have great defensive coverage. They do have one watching right by the Lotus Pool, but nothing behind them. So again, there's still a little bit of an angle for Shopify if they do get a read on that. It does go fast.
Roshan does roar. It's way too quick. They've got to make a choice as well. They could have pushed in the mid-tier 3 tower instead of trying to go for the Roshan pit, but Shopify reacting a little bit too slowly that time around. We'll end up paying for it with a free Roshan the way of G2.iG now. That had an Ag's Blessing as well that Monet's now picked up. So Monet becomes infinitely harder to kill with all the dispels he has available. And this could be problematic now, I think, for Shopify Rebellion, though. Things are already going pretty well for G2.iG as it was. Now it's going to feel kind of impossible to fight.
And it does. 18 to 18, 9k up for G2.iG. Again, their scaling's just fully online. Shopify have to be able to try to isolate out these heroes. They really have to play off the back of Teal Liqueur, getting some good lassos off, and it's just not an easy game to do so. I don't think your opener of Arena Spear with Rolling Thunder is enough at this point. Like, it just leads you into this position where RP is going to be an issue if you clump up in that area, even though it's your own arena. The grip's always a threat as well. It doesn't get any easier for Shopify. Again, this almost feels like one of their games yesterday. They have this really good first 20 minutes, first 25, but they don't manage to capitalize. They don't manage to make progress onto the high ground. They don't manage to secure Aegis. And it just gets relatively tough. Like, they secured it first, but it's on Yopaj instead of Arteezy. So, again, just not the position where you can put your Luna up front to push. Last tier 2 tower for Shopify just being melted away by Monet. Shopify, and they've got to play high ground defense now. It's down to this lasso. It's down to Teal Liqueur. And whether or not G2.iG can get those Lincolns flying onto Monet or someone before that lasso can come in.
See what they can do. G2.iG. Monet jumps there. They've got the spear out. They've already caught the troll. But they are hesitant to go in. In fact, never mind. They'll go. That's one life gone. No Aegis available now. No buyback either on Monet, mind you. He's short on gold right now, so if he dies... Oh, JT! Oh. He's got an RP off, but he only found one. In fact, it's going to be a two-man skewer anyway. Teal Liqueur and Kirak both are gone, but they will buy back immediately. The rush is on now to see if they can find somebody from the side of G2.iG. They'll start with nothing to say, but he's going to pop his BKB and try to man up and fight back against Yopaj. They will continue to run. X-Nova may be the only one left behind, but they would be pretty happy if it's just him. Meanwhile, JT looking for an RP. He does find a second. He has found another RP out. Can they deal with anyone though? Teal Liqueur, the one to die back. Still trying onto Monet, but Monet's man fighting Arteezy now. Arteezy's gonna run. Monet's on the chase with the battle trance. He's found the Luna, and Arteezy looks like he is set to fall. So he's gonna go for the fight again, but it will not work.
No buyback.
And he's got no buyback. He bought out the Eye of Skadi. Arteezy does not have buyback gold, Jonathan. That is very bad news. It probably wouldn't have mattered anyway, to be fair, but
yeah, it's just gonna get ripped apart. This high ground does not last long with an empowered up troll. Like, everything will just melt. They're gonna go for what seems to be the Megas first before fully committing. But you've got a clear condition now for G2.iG. 19 to 25, 24k lead off the back of that fight. Beautiful RPs coming out there from JT with a refresh. And they just kite out. Again, once Arena and once Roll is expended, even with these buybacks, it just doesn't do much. They needed that big lasso to work out, and the one lasso they did get didn't even drag Monet far back enough.
Sableye just jumped in. Yopaj, he's going to try and slow this down as well, but the Fiend's Grip is going to lock him through the Rolling Thunder, and nothing to say. He's just doing so much damage, and they'll call it. GG is called. Shopify Rebellion, they will drop game number 1 against G2.iG, and that makes it very, very hard for them to try.